Hello and welcome back. My name is Sandcrawler or Ythmevge, and this is Makin Games with Sandcrawler. We're working on Connected We Run, and I just want to go through the changes that we did last time. So press the keyboard and we'll get to this screen to select the difficulty. Right now the difficulty does nothing and you can play. So that's where we're at right now, and this episode we are going to work on the actual gameplay elements. So I'm pretty happy with the title screen, but right now these platforms here are pre-generated or pre-placed, and then these ones that are going slightly faster, those are where they're actually generated, and the ones like up there. We want to work on the platform generation so you can always jump onto it. Another thing we're going to do is right now you can go out by jumping off the edge of the screen or by being pushed off back here. I'm just going to put a blocking volume there so you just can't go past it anymore. So let's go ahead and switch over to Construct 2 and we'll get started. Okay, welcome back. We're here in Construct 2, and the first thing we're going to do here is fix these volumes here on the end that trigger game over. So that is going to be our first thing here. What we're going to do is we're just going to take this blue one here that already has the solid state on it, and we're just going to position it back. What I could do is make 1-to-1. I sometimes forget about that. I like to position it just with a little bit of leeway here. So now the ends are just going to block the player. They're not going to trigger a game over. You're going to have to fall off of the platform for that to happen. Okay, so that's done. Now the next thing we want to do is, you can see these platforms here are just pre-positioned and they're always that way. So what we want to do is we want to go in here, we want to insert new event below. Even though we're going to use a on layout start or on start a layout, however you prefer to think about it. And what we're going to do is system create object, and we're going to do, well, let's just go ahead and do the spawn platform. We're going to do layer 1, and for X we want to do, well, we'll have to play with it, but for now I'm just gonna set it to like 256. Then this is gonna be random, and let's do this from like 64 to 240. So that's done. Now we need to set this, that was a spawn platform. We're going to set the frame, and I gotta remember here. So I have my spawn platform up here. Okay, so we want frame 1 for this first one. Frame 1. Then we'll take and we'll copy that, and we'll do frame 0. And we'll set this to 304 to what is it here? 480. Okay, so that's going to create two platforms at 256. So if we just set this one to x 256. Okay, so it's gonna spawn it right there. And now I want to do it in a range so it's not always the same. So I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to put on a random 256 to, let's just do 324. Oops, gotta add that. And you gotta spell random right. We're going to copy that and we're going to paste it down here too. So now that's going to spawn us two platforms somewhere in the vicinity of about here to here. So if we go back to this one and we set it to 304. So yeah, I mean you can see it's not a huge range, but it'll shift it a little bit. And I'll probably play with it some more. So now what we need to do is we need to spawn the player. Let's go ahead and shut that stuff off. So if we look at the player, you can see that it's also set up with two sprites. Basically it's exactly the same as the platform, except it has the platformer behavior. So we're going to do system, create object, or I don't remember if we want create object or we might want spawn platform, spawn another object. We're going to set it to player. I set it to 1 and it's going to spawn on image point 1, because if we go into the spawn platform you'll see I have spawn and point number 1 is set just above the platform. We're going to position that there, copy it, do it here. Now before this really works we need to add a little bit more to it. We need to set appearance, set effect parameters, and boss. We're gonna do, it's gonna be parameter index is 0 because emboss only has 1, which is intensity, and we want to set it to 10. Then we're going to copy it up here for this other one. And the next thing is to set the color. So we want the dark one on top. So we need to set the frame for the bottom one. So if we go to here, set frame 0. Okay, I think that we are ready to test this. And to do that, we're first going to remove these two. Okay, welcome back. After some tweaking, I got the platform spawning working right. I was just missing an image point, so they were falling through. So now what we need to do is add a new event below. System on start of layout. But this time we want to add another condition. We want to go system, compare variable, and we want to go difficulty equal to 0. Did I use 0, 1, and 2, or did I use 1, 2, and 3? Okay. I used 0, 1 and 2. Okay, so difficulty 0, and for difficulty 0 we want to set value of speed to 30 for now. That's what it was for Ludum Dare, is it was set to 30 for your starting speed. This one we're going to set to 60 for normal. And for fast, we'll just go with 90. These are all starting variables. We'll see what we want to do with it once we get started. And I want to, well, actually it doesn't matter because these are set. So on the start of the layout, it's automatically going to get set to whatever difficulty. I was going to set it to 0, but we don't need to. Okay, we got those working. Now what we want to do is I was trying to decide if we want to spawn it in, if we want to put it in here, or if we want to do it elsewhere, but I think we will do it in there. So basically we need to have it spawn the platforms. This is roughly where it's going to spawn our starter platform, and then we want it to spawn the other platforms. So if we go into here and we go system create object, and this one we're going to do just normal platforms. We're going to set layer to 1. We'll do random, we'll just say 256 to 128. We're just going to copy and paste this well, after we get it set up. And then for random we can do 64 to 240. Okay, so now we need to figure out where we want platforms to spawn, and I'm going to do that just by dragging this one so we can see this is at 100 right here, which it puts the sprite at the center. So I think 100 is good. So we'll go ahead and set this to 100, and then if we drag it over, we'll do 182 as a max. So now I don't need this platform anymore, so I can drag it over here. I want to keep at least one of these platforms on each. So we do need to set the animation frame. So we're going to go in here and do platform, set animation frame, or set frame, and we need this to be set frame 1. Okay, so that's going to spawn our first black one here. This one we don't need to account for. It's already done. So now if we spawn our first white one, we're going to select these two, copy them, Control V to paste them, and basically this is exactly the same random for the starting. And then this is where we need it to change to 304. And 480. And set animation frame to 0. Okay. So now I just have to do this over and over again. Well, not really. for 3 more times. So I'm going to cut here, and when we come back in, we'll be in Chrome to test it out. Okay, welcome back. We're going to play test it a little bit here. So we can get rid of our mouse pointer, we don't need it. And let's just start out with the slow, so you can see the platforms are different. And the platforms that are coming in are getting quite a bit faster. Just how it was supposed to be. It could still make an impossible jump. I don't know if I want it to not be able to. But for the most part, it's going to make them relatively easy. Yeah, okay. And we'll refresh. And let's do normal. Oh, the platform's really coming in now. They're gonna beat the slow ones. There's the slow ones going off the screen now, finally. Now this might be, yeah, that's an impossible jump. Let's refresh and try hard. Or fast. I can't believe I missed that one. So one thing that I need to do is make the starting platform start out at that speed. Okay. Because if the starting platforms started out at that speed, then they wouldn't stay on the screen for so long. I mean, you're still going to have the faster platforms come in, like this one that my character's on right now. And they're going to pass all the other ones. What we could do to further decrease is to keep track of what the Y height of the last one is. And then spawn a platform according to that. Because if you're too close to the top, you're going to hit the top. And then you can't jump as well. So let's switch back over. Okay, here we are. And if we hit menu, we'll just go to fast. And so the other big change that you can see that I forgot to mention is that I decided to just go ahead and invert the bottom player. So the white now jumps, the gravity is basically inverted. I did this largely because it's hard to get rid of the impossible jumps when you can hit a ceiling. And the simple solution was to make them like this. Because now they can both jump off of the screen, as you can see. And, you know, so neither one is going to have that problem with the jumps. I haven't changed the score any. I don't know if I'm going to. But you can see that the platforms are spawning in a better way. I think it still needs some tweaks. As far as this is the fast difficulty. And it's relatively easy. The platforms are spawning pretty close together. But I can do that later. So basically you can see the platforms are getting faster because there's a lot less of them on the screen, and they're just moving faster. And they're also spawning faster. So you can see we made it 42 seconds on the dark side and 86 on the light. So I also changed around the controls. I haven't added WASD yet, but I'm going to. And the changes that I made to the controls will make it really easy to add in the WASD. This does get really hard later on, but I think that fast needs to be faster even. And if we go to something like slow, you can see the platforms barely move. So I think that this needs to be faster. I do that so I can line up the two characters. As you can see, this is just like a crawl. And these platforms are going to start spawning at a faster rate, just like the other ones. Of course, it also has a higher number, so that shouldn't affect it too much once we get the numbers worked out. I don't know why one of them didn't jump. You can't jump when you're falling, and so if you're falling and you're trying to jump, you can't. If we go to normal, you can see normal's a little bit faster. We're moving decently, but I'm thinking that the fast speed right now may become the normal speed. And this might become the slow. Slow might even be a bit faster than this one. But yeah, I think that's it. Next week we will be doing Game Jolt. We'll be working on putting the Game Jolt plugin in for we want to have some trophies and high score table. And we want to do it on Game Jolt rather than as a custom PHP thing. Whoops. Walked him right off the edge there. So you can see the platforms, they stay a lot more consistent, and they're generally a lot more doable. I want you to fall off based on your mistake and not based on the platform spawning. So, because once the platforms start going really quick, then the game gets harder. And I think I'm going to leave the players how they are, how when one falls out you can still play the other one. Just because to me it makes sense. And I missed that jump there. Because your total score here is never going to be as high as it possibly could be with this number as 56, or say you go out, right away. Like, so you get a number of 2. So even if you do, 900 on this, your score is going to be around 1,800 because it's multiplying 900 times 2. And so basically you're never going to have a high score just by playing one of them. You have to play both of them as far as you can. See, that's a score of 72, and we can probably beat that score really quickly here. Just by getting the 2 farther. So I'm pretty happy with how the score works. Although some of the comments said they thought it was random. So I bet if we go out now we got higher. Yeah. We got 1,682, a lot more than 32. So yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.